if we keep it up, we can put our fingers inside of each other. Grow up.
Yeah, his sermons are good, but everyone knows he's fruity. Everyone knows he's fruity.
Oh my god, we could do a whole podcast just of, like, quoting this film.
It's too good. This is my second time watching it, and I think I actually liked it a lot more this time, because I think my very first time ever watching it, I think I had sort of the Booksmart effect happen again to me, where the marketing and the trailer was so good that I was like, there's no way this doesn't become one of my favorites of all time. And then I go and I see it, and it is good, but it's not that good. Do you know what I mean?
So what about it this time made you feel like you enjoyed it more? Because I feel like I had the opposite. I feel like I touched ground a little bit more.
I just didn't have that, like, hyped up, like, oh my god, I'm about to witness, like, the greatest comedy of a generation. Like, I was just like, oh, I'm just watching a movie that I know that I like now. It's less of, like, that expectation of, like, every time a joke kind of falls flat, you're like, oh, like, knife in my side. Like, I really had just such high expectations for it in the very beginning. And it is good. I do like this movie, and it is good. I just really thought, like, that it was gonna be life-changing.
Fair enough. Yeah, I think that my takeaway from this watch is that if I saw this in high school, it would have been my favorite movie of all time. It would have been the best piece of media that I'd ever consumed. I would have been, like, watching it 5 times a week, injecting it straight into my veins. I would have had the biggest crush on Rachel Sennett and Io.
And Ruby Cruz. And literally everyone in this movie.
Literally everyone. Which, mind you, I'm in the middle of my Hazel phase with my haircut right now.
If you and I morphed together, we're getting pretty close to that. Because I watched this movie with Henry, and he was like, is that the picture you show your hairdresser? Like, I was like, yeah, like, basically.
Yeah, you've got the bangs, right? And I've got the mullet. Yes. So if we just
meet in the middle,
you'll bring the stripes to the outfit. I'll have a polo somewhere. Yeah. It'll be fine. It'll be all the same.
But neither of us has a Nepo connection.
No, we just have a podcast. Hi.
Oh, hi! It's our podcast. It's called The Swamp. It's an acronym.
Stands for some whack-ass movie podcasting.
And this month we decided to be lazy and just draw from the infinite pool of listener-suggested films, and y'all came in kind of hot. I threw up on Instagram to, like, drop the suggestions, and we got so many good ones. I think we originally were like, oh, we'll just read this next week, whatever, but, like, I think this whole month we might be pulling from the suggested lists, because there were
absolutely
a lot of really good ones. But this one was sent in by Zoe is Fine on Instagram, who I believe has asked us to do this in the past and was giving us a friendly reminder. So thank you, Zoe, for writing in. Zoe's one of those listeners that I feel like people have asked us if we feel weird, like, people having a parasocial relationship with us. And I'm like, no, I don't feel weird, because I parasocially relate myself right back to you. Like, this person, I fully follow them, like, on my personal account, and I'm like, oh yeah, like, that's one of my besties. Like, no, like, literally, I do not know this individual. But you seem really cool, Zoe, so we're gonna cover bottoms upon your request. I believe their Instagram bio is, like, ethnically Jewish, canonically gay, or something like that, so that really fits. Yeah, that really fits this movie. So shouts out Zoe, and shouts out to everyone who sent in requests this
shout out to the young lesbians everywhere this week.
Young spelled Y-U-N-G. Young.
I feel like it's been a while since we've covered, like, a very, very queer movie. Maybe it's just me. Yeah. I mean, I know we're a very queer podcast, but for some reason it feels like it's been a minute.
Yeah, and I feel like maybe a lot of movies is like, I'm projecting gayness onto it that simply is not there.
Well, yeah.
I'm like, no.
That's every movie.
The kid from Treasure Planet is trans. Like, and I'll say it. And it's like, fully, that is just not, like, that's not happening.
Mm-hmm. But I'm always here for some lesbian media.
Yes, and I like that this movie got as much attention as it did. I think that having two sort of, like, rising stars at the head of it was definitely very helpful. But this movie, not a huge budget from, not relatively well-known female director, like young women making film is just not something that really gets put like at the forefront of people's attention a lot. So I'm really happy that this movie sort of got all the hype that it did, because I don't think it usually would otherwise.
Well, and especially because like all of it got released during the actors and writers strike. Over the past, like, summer, like, September, October-ish. So there wasn't, there was, like, a handful of press for it, but, like, nothing crazy. No actors were talking about it. I was just thinking about it, like, how much different the reception might have been if it actually did get as much marketing and press and everything, and they actually did, like, a press tour for it.
Yeah, fully.
I'm, like, genuinely upset that we don't have, like, those big interviews with Emma and Io and Rachel and Kaya Gerber. Yes. Unless I'm just out of the fucking loop.
There's a couple. I've seen what I think are all of them on YouTube, and they all do start with that screen of, like, this was filmed before the strike, like, you know, that, like, notice of, like, hey, like... just, we're not crossing picket lines, you know, that whole thing. But there's not a ton of them. But they do a couple of the, like, you know, like, the asking each other the silly question ones. Oh, yeah. Or, like, the, like, talking about what other movies, like, inspired this one. But there aren't a ton of those. Like, there's no... Who does the puppies, where they play with the puppies? BuzzFeed. Yeah, there's no BuzzFeed puppy interview with Io Debris. I would love to see it.
What a real loss. But I love watching Io in anything. And especially, like, watching her... whole circuit over the last couple of months. It was nice to like see her acting again. When I feel like I've just like interacted with all of the media of her winning every single award she's been up for, which I fucking love.
She's has an EGOT now. I don't care what the awards are. She's won 4 awards. Yeah. So Io Debris is an EGOT in my eyes. Yeah. That's my Princess Diana.
No, truly. Oh my god.
Something that I think we're, like, finally coming off of it, but the thing that has just been, like, fucking pissing me off for no reason is all of the, like, press interviews of people asking her if she's Irish. I'm like, that stopped being... It
pissed you off?
That stopped being funny 6 months ago. Like, it was absolutely hilarious when she did it the first time. I believe at South by Southwest, she, like, said that she she said she was the donkey in Banshees of Inisherin, and, like, that was fucking hilarious. And then it became, like, an internet, like, a meme sort of for a little bit. And as soon as reporters started being like, tell us about your Irish heritage, I was like, let's leave things to stay on the internet. Like... Yeah. She takes it like a champ, and she's always has a good attitude about it, but I'd be like, shut the fuck up. Like, I'm so over
that joke died.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, I feel like it really blends in with the whole thing of TikTokers being the people that are getting sent out to red carpets these days.
Yeah.
Which is just heinous. Although I did like, Amelia from
Chicken Shop Date.
Chicken Shop Date. She interviewed like what is it? Stellan Skarsgård? Which Scar? What's the father Skarsgård?
Yeah, Stellan. Yeah.
Stellan. Yeah. She was like, "Oh, did you have a favorite day on set?" And he was like, "That's such a TikTok question." And she was just like, "You could have said no.
Yeah.
You could have just said no."
I lived for that, her clapping back of just being like, okay, don't give me a soundbite then. Go talk to somebody else who's also gonna ask you a question with a less than 30-second answer in mind. You're on a red carpet. This is not, like, we're not doing Jimmy Kimmel. Yeah. Like, what the fuck?
Exactly. But yeah, no. Shout out to Io for, every time that there's an event, she's going around on film Twitter, and I love it. And then Rachel Sennett's just doing the hottest photo shoots I've ever seen in my life.
Right?
So.
I love, like, from their characters in this movie, like, Io's, like, not too different from Josie in the fact that she's, like, kind of awkward and, like, very, funny, improv-y kind of, and then Rachel Sennett is over here just, like, nipples out, like, hard nipples, like, in a fucking, like, Balenciaga dress, just, like, fully living her life, and I'm just like, wow, just, I love this for you.
Yeah, no. I do hate her character in this movie, though.
Yeah.
I think that's the one thing that this watch around was harder to watch. And because I also know she's a better actress than just playing, like, kind of mean and shitty.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely lacking a little bit of depth. I think this movie's 90 minutes crisp. Perfect. I love it. But I would have even given it an additional 15 if we could have just, like, padded a little bit more to, like, learn more about who the characters are. Because other than that, they're gay and supposedly, like, fundamentally unliked by their classmates. We don't know...
And virgins.
We don't know anything about them, really. So I'm like...
nothing.
I don't know. I'm like, if we could have peppered in, like, a little bit, like, how did they meet? What are their interests? Like, I think we got that a lot more in Booksmart, not to directly keep comparing the two.
I was just gonna say that. Yeah, I totally agree with you. And at least, like, you pick up who they are more along the way. I think this is definitely just, like, drops you right in and gives you nothing to bounce with.
And a lot of it is like, jokes, we're doing jokes, ooh, we're improving, we're being so funny, which is great a lot of the time, but then sometimes I'm like, I do need a reason to care. Like, I need a reason to, like, I need somebody to root for, I need some sort of substance to, like, make me invested in the film. And I think a lot of the time their improving and their comedy works, but sometimes it really doesn't. And it's like, it's a little cringe at certain points. Nothing specifically, just, like, certain moments that just maybe, like, felt a little stale, or just, like, I don't know, there's no, like, laugh track, obviously, so it was just, like, if I'm not laughing, and then no one's laughing, and then it's like, oh. But a lot of it is very funny, but I think it's just obvious you can tell what was written and what was not.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, there's a good chunk of that. And I know both of those actresses are very much, like, from the improv scene and everything, so it makes total sense. But yeah, there's the iconic monologue from Io.
That is not what I'm referring to, because that is so fucking funny. And
hysterical.
I didn't know.
I love just watching Rachel in that scene, just trying to hold it together, because she's doing such a good job, but, like, it's nearly slipping, you know what I mean? I would have ruined the take.
I fully didn't know that was, like, all improv, because it's like a 5-minute monologue, and it's so funny, and I think you were the one who told me that was, like, all improv, and I was like, good on you, Io, because that was, like, a standout moment for me, for sure.
Yeah, that's kind of the peak of, like, the comedy in this movie, in my opinion. And which kind of sucks, because it is within the first 15 minutes. I do think, however, that this watch around, I loved, God, what's his name?
Jeff?
Yes, Jeff. I'm trying to think of the actor's name. He's having a big moment right now.
Yes.
He's like...
I didn't realize that was him. He's gonna be in that, like, cunty Julianne Moore show, where he, like, has his little gay earring, and he's on all those posters.
He looks like a slut.
Yes.
Yeah, he's a big slut.
I didn't realize it, because I know that he was in that Red, White, and Royal Blue movie that everyone was, like, really on about.
Did you watch it?
No, of course not.
Honestly, kind of a vibe.
Really?
Like, a bottle of wine and that... Well, like, I probably finished 2 bottles of wine watching it, but yes. Yeah, one of those movies.
It's one of those, I need to be in a certain mood to do a so bad it's good kind of thing. Like, I was thinking about going to see Madam Web, and then I was like, the vibe is just not right today. Like...
Yeah, fair enough. But yeah, he's doing that. And then I saw something today about this, It's got to be, like, the same sort of situation as After, where it's based on, like, Harry Styles fan fiction.
Oh.
He's with
Anne Hathaway?
Miss Annie Hathaway? Yeah.
That's him?
Yeah. Yes. I don't know what's going on there. I don't know how they signed on to it. I'm horrified, but I cannot wait to see it.
Oh my god, I love the evolution of a smut fan fiction into a, like, high budget. Like, After is literally so hilarious to me. I cannot believe that.
Oh yeah, it's not even trying to be subtle. It's like he's one of the singers in a boy band. He's got like all these like really shitty like patchwork tattoos.
I was just about to say he like has a moth tattoo in the center of his chest. Like they're fully violating like
love it. But yeah, he's having a big moment. Everyone, I mean, I'd love to see Emma, can't remember her last name. Seligman, thank you. Emma Seligman start to pop off after this movie as well. Because honestly, if you asked me like 6 months ago, I would have said I liked this better than Shiva Baby, but I do think Shiva Baby is still the better movie out of both of her films.
Yeah, I would hard agree with that. It never in my mind was this better than that. That movie just captures something so specific, like a certain...
visceral.
Yeah, like anxiety, like I'm literally, my heart is pounding right now just talking about that film because like just the response that it elicits is wild. We covered that one a while back on the pod if you want to go listen. I love now when people send in requests of stuff we've already covered because I love being like, link to the app. Like, yes, I got you. Yes, we already did that one. Because we have so many episodes now that I fully do not blame people who do not want to go back and look because I'm sure the pod is bad. Like it's still bad now, but it's, I don't go back and listen. That's all I'll say. But we did talk about Shiva Baby, and she's a great director. They're all, like, went to fabulous. NYU together at the same time.
Yeah, which makes sense.
It's, like, the NYU...
Did Molly Gordon as well?
I don't know if she went, but she was, like, there at the time. I think, like, you know, they were all... Because Io and Rachel were roommates, I believe, like, their first year of college.
I don't know that they were roommates, but they definitely, like, that was, like, they knew each other.
IMDb says that they're roommates, but I don't know. Shit. I don't know how factual that is.
Roommates.
And they were roommates. But yeah, they all like went to NYU at the same time. And I love to see this little like NYU graduating class of 2018 cinematic universe like pop off.
Yeah.
Get Molly Gordon in there and just like chef's kiss. I love to see it.
Well, it's so strange because I love her in like 900 different things, but like her and the Bear, it is bad.
I have not watched The Bear. I know I should.
I know
I should. But yeah, I've seen people on Twitter like viscerally hate her character.
They just didn't do anything with her. It's just weird. I don't know. But she is not in this movie, shockingly.
Yeah, literally.
I would have guessed, but she already did Booksmart, so.
Yeah, that is true. Very similar. I do love a lot of the casting in this. Getting Kaya Gerber in there to just be like a cunty mean girl is
brilliant,
fucking inspired. And I'm still, I know it's too late, but I am still trailblazing the Marshawn Lynch as Best Supporting Actor Oscar campaign. I am at the helm of it. That man, literally, I think that his performance in this was one of my all-time favorite things from this past year.
It was brilliant.
He is everything.
I loved it. Yeah. Which for anyone that doesn't know like the whole story behind it, he agreed to. I don't know who was like, yeah, we need Marshawn Lynch on this. I don't know who decided to make that casting choice, but I know he agreed to do it, sort of as like almost like penance,
reparations.
Sort of. Yeah, reparations. Because his sister is queer. And he's talked a good amount about how he didn't have a good reaction to that when she first came out. And this was kind of his way to not mend that, but like...
growth.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Grow. Yeah, I guess. I don't know how to phrase it, but...
No, he's so good in this. There's this one YouTube video. I don't know why this like scenario is happening or being filmed, but it's like him talking to all these Amish women. And it's like Marshawn Lynch like visiting an Amish community and like asking the women about like how to milk cows. I'll link it in the description below. It's fucking so funny for no goddamn reason. He's just like, so y'all don't have electricity? And they're like, no, we're Amish. And they're clearly like very put off by him. It's just, I don't know who decided that needed to happen, but I literally revisit it like every couple of months when I need a good chuckle.
Aw, I love that.
I know a friend of mine, when I was like, oh, Bottoms, back when it was coming out, I was like, oh, Bottoms is coming out, I'm looking forward to seeing it. She's like, oh yeah, she's like, I didn't even know what that was, but my boyfriend really wants to go see it, because Marshawn Lynch is in it. And I was like, that's hilarious.
Hysterical.
Like, that's such a hilarious selling point. I used, to get Henry to watch it with me this time, I used the selling point that Rachel Sennett used to date Stavros of Cumtown podcast fame, if you know what I'm talking about. So they dated
Kind of.
They dated for a while, and everyone on Twitter recently popped off being like, holy shit, like, he dated her? Like, she's so fucking hot. And because it was also people, like, clowning on her current boyfriend, who is also just, like, a kind of a generic-looking...
He's just a guy.
White man. Yeah, I don't know.
Sure.
But I was like, this is Stav's ex-girlfriend. Henry's like, yeah, I'll watch. I was like, weird, like, niche selling point that gotta loop in the cum boys.
Of course. No, I will say that watching this and kind of thinking about my own high school experience, I was like, yeah, this is still semi-accurate. You know what I mean? Obviously, I didn't start a fight club, but very much Josie's, like, despondence, like, just down in the dumps, like, it's not gonna happen for me.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. I was like, oh yeah, this is high school. This is high school for lesbians, which I'd be interested to see what younger generations have to say, because we graduated in, like, 2017, and I very much remember being like, oh yeah, I'm one of, like, 5 queer girls that are, like, kind of out of the closet. And of course, every other queer girl is dating each other. Yeah. So you're just like, it's not gonna happen for me.
Like, the GSA was, like, one polycule, and you're like, well... I'm not cracking into that. Like,
oh no, way too tight knit.
I felt like if Bottoms was real, like if that was true, PJ and Josie would have experimentally fucked at some point and been like, no. But like, you know
Absolutely.
what I mean? Like, oh, you're 2 queer girl best friends. Like, you definitely are like gonna try to scissor at the sleepover and then be like, nah, like, not between you and me, you know? Like,
yeah.
Like,
totally.
That was like missing for me. And then Hazel being like the like quirky, like also unliked,
unfuckable.
I'm like, no, Hazel would have been the hot fucking ticket of the queer community of that high school. Like, they would have been. Oh yeah. Josie would have been fucking, or PJ would have been falling at her knees trying to get her attention.
Well, it's also like, it's this weird thing of, I don't know, I think PJ is kind of like, the character is very much built to be like attracted to straight people, and that's just because she's pining after Kaya Gerber this entire time. But I do think that whole storyline is so interesting, because I've definitely met a lot of queer people that are like, I can't even be attracted to another person if I don't know that they're queer. You know what I mean? Oh. Like I would never go after that without knowing, like, oh, there's a shot, or oh, you're gay.
Oh, yeah, I thought you meant, like, inversely, like, some sort of, like, internalized homophobia shit. Like, no, I only want to fuck straight people because I hate myself. Like that whole thing.
Well, there's also that. Plenty of people have that, but...
I thought that the way that sort of trope was handled in Booksmart was also a little more tactful and a little funnier. The Caitlin Denver's character, is that her name? Caitlin Denver? She,
something like that, yeah.
Like, she thinks that person is queer because they are, like, very queer coded and, like, they skateboard and shit, and then she, like, goes for it, and then she just is fully straight. Like, I thought that was a little funnier than this whole, like, I wanted PJ to go after, what's Kaya Gerber's character's name? I don't even know. But I wanted her to go for it, and then her be like, oh, I do like girls, I just don't like you. Like, that would have been funnier to me than
absolutely.
The way that it actually panned out, because it just ended up being sort of this, and then, like, her and Hazel kiss to, like, get everyone's attention, but it's, like, we don't even really get a spark of, like, if she was, like, into it afterward, you know what I mean? Like, it wasn't like,
yeah, like, it's kind of implied, but it's not really. Like, this is one, like you said, this is one of those movies where I'm like, I do think it would have been better if there was an extra 15-20 minutes.
Yeah,
which we don't say that almost ever.
No, it also could have just benefited, I think, from some pacing rearrangement, because I do think we could have gotten some some stuff in there without changing the length. But yeah, give me 10 more minutes. Come on. Like, I always say I love a tight 90, but like it can be a tight 97.
Yeah, or like the whole driving force behind that other football player, like trying to expose them. I don't know. It wasn't pushing it along enough for me.
Yeah, and it's like, oh, because he's obsessed with Jeff, because everyone's obsessed with Jeff, but is it like, is he gay for Jeff? Then that would have, like I need to protect something. I don't know. Yeah, add something, add more stakes, right, is what I think we're both feeling.
Exactly. Yeah, but...
That actor was great too, though. He was a character that I sort of appreciated more this watch around, even though he was sort of like there for no reason, but just his performance is so funny to me, like constantly sprinting after Jeff, like with a notebook to like make sure, I don't know. I thought that was very funny this time around. I also liked watching it with subtitles, because the first time I saw it was in the theater, so like I didn't have that. Having this with subtitles is so funny, because there's just constantly people in the background yelling like, Jeff, come in my mouth! Like literally, like it's just the most random shit that I did not hear the first time around, and it's so funny, like really little like moments that I missed.
Yeah, well, I will say I do think that Emma Seligman does a really good job with that. In general, like, I noticed this watch around, the diner that they were at, was called But I'm a Diner.
Yes.
Which is just like a But I'm a Cheerleader reference. I was like, oh, that's so fucking brilliant. It's so stupid, but it's so brilliant.
I know, here I was, like, talking about Marvel Easter eggs as, like, the bane of my existence, and meanwhile I'm like, ooh, a little, like, reference for the girlies, like, a little film reference. Ooh, like, the Easter egg has to be for me, and then I love it. But otherwise...
Oh, exactly.
Cringe.
I don't give a shit.
Who is it but Jen, always here to host her interim chocolate segment. Was I just about to say her interim podcast segment, chocolate or vanilla? She's going to say two things. We're all going to say which one we like better. Jen, A, how are you? B, is there a theme this week?
Good, I'm good. It's my interim chocolate segment, podcast or vanilla.
Podcast or vanilla?
I am pretty good. There is a theme. So in honor of Ayo Adebari.
Ayo Adebari.
Yeah. Adebari. So she's from Mass, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I thought she was from Brockton, but I think she's from Dorchester.
Yes.
She's from Dorchester, yeah.
So these are people from Massachusetts.
Oh, hell yeah.
I'm gonna have a lot of strong opinions.
Yeah. All right, so first one, representing Dorchester and Quincy, Mark Wahlberg, John Adams. Oh, wait, chocolate or vanilla?
Chocolate.
Vanilla.
Chocolate, vanilla, strawberry.
Chocolate.
I'll stay vanilla.
All right, I'll go strawberry. Mark Wahlberg, John Adams, or John Quincy Adams.
I fucking hate Mark Wahlberg.
I know. I knew
Fuck Mark Wahlberg. I'm like trying to think in my historical Rolodex. I'm like, did the Quincy Adamses own slaves? Because that is probably the only thing that is worse than what the Wahlbergs have done. Like, fuck a Wahlberg. I'll say...
growing up on the South Shore, like, those were... Like, you did reports on them. President 2 and President 6, they're our Massachusetts boys, you know?
Okay. Good news. Of the U.S. presidents, the first 12, the only two who never owned slaves were John Adams and his son, John Quincy Adams.
Nice.
Slay. They're like, we don't have room for that in Mass. They're like, we don't actually have land. Like, that's not enough space, sorry.
Dude, I literally live down the street from, like, John Quincy Adams' house.
So I guess I'll go for John Adams for no other reason that I just assume that you'll pick John Quincy Adams because you live in his birthright name.
Basically,
town.
yeah. Yeah, I'll go for Quincy Adams. Mark Wahlberg is a racist fuck. He should not be famous. I think we should personally draw and quarter him, but that's just me.
He's so famous, too. He's so famous.
He's, like, gross and Christian, and, like, it's, like, he's one of those guys that wakes up at 4 a.m. to study the Bible and then does a fucking cold plunge.
No, thank you. I'm going to go with John Quincy Adams. I wrote a book report on him in, like, 4th grade. Next one, From Newton, Matt LeBlanc, or from Sudbury, Chris Evans?
Who's Matt LeBlanc?
The guy from
Friends.
Joey.
Oh, fuck Friends. I fucking hate that show. I'm sorry. Like,
do you like Chris
nothing...
Evans?
Is he also, like, weird and Christian?
He's Captain America. Is he really?
No,
I don't know about Christian, but I know, he's like a bootlicker. He, like, poses with soldiers and bombs. The whole, you know what I mean?
Oh my god. I did think that he kind of ate in, the first Knives Out movie, though.
Fair, yeah.
Him in that little cunty sweater.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he does not really, he doesn't do it for me, so I guess I'll pick, Matt LeBlanc. Did he die recently, or was that the other one?
No, that's the other one. That's Chandler Bing.
All of the friends, like, morph all their faces together, and that's just what they all look like to me, like, indistinguishable. Not just the men, the women, too. Boring white people. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'll also go for Matt LeBlanc on this. I fucking hate Chris Evans. But at least, I don't know anything about Matt LeBlanc besides Friends, but at least he was a very hot man.
I will go with Joey, also Matt LeBlanc. Next one from Nantucket, Megan Trainor, or from Newton, Rachel Platten.
Megan Trainor's from Nantucket. That makes so much sense.
Is that cool?
Wait, and, like, Rachel Platten only makes music that's, like, in department stores, but, like, even more so than Megan Trainor. Like, imagine me saying that in a context where this person is being put up against Megan Trainor, who is the Marshall's music girly. I guess, I don't know that much about Megan Trainor, but I do think it's kind of slay that she's married to Junie from Spy Kids. I don't know too much about her, but I guess I'll pick her, because, sure.
She gives me the ick big time. Her and that famous TikTok gay that she hangs out with freak me out. But so I'll pick. I don't even know who my other option was. I don't know who you're talking about, but I'll pick her.
Rachel Platten. This is my fight song.
Oh God.
Bad.
Oh no.
Like a strong wave on the ocean.
I'll still go with her begrudgingly.
Yeah. I'm gonna go with Megan Trainor just because I think she did the song from the Peanuts movie.
That sounds right.
Next one is Ben Franklin or JFK. So Ben Franklin from Boston, JFK from Brookline.
I'll pick JFK, I guess. I worked not at the JFK Museum, but I worked at the adjacent Edward Kennedy Museum, which is like just it's just sort of a hilarious notion within itself that there's a smaller, less cool museum next to the JFK Museum about his less cool brother. But I do like know a weird amount about the Kennedys because of that. I've met a couple of Kennedys against my will. Because they'll drop by whack shit. But I'll pick good old boy JFK.
I'll go JFK. Ben Franklin did own slaves. I had to look that up.
Yeah.
I saw you typing and I knew that's what you were doing.
Didn't he, like, hate his wife, too, or something?
I don't know. I think part of him is kind of cool because he was into, like, butt stuff and orgies. But, like, other than that, nah, I'm good. I'll go for JFK. Like, even though he gave Jackie O, like, chronic chlamydia. Which is also very bad. So, I mean, didn't they both hate their wives to a degree?
Yeah, true.
Yeah, I'll go with JFK also. Next one, John Krasinski or BJ Novak, both from Newton.
I'll pick BJ Novak because I think that it probably is the father of Mindy Kaling's children, and I love that for him. I also think that he's probably the reason why The Office is as good as it is. Like, the reason why everyone thinks The Office is so iconic. I think that he's probably a bigger part of that than people realize. And he seems alright, you know, he hasn't done anything to piss me off. John Krasinski, I'm sure, is also fine, but he does kind of give me the ick that I'm kind of like, can you fucking take a chill pill, bro? Like,
agreed. Yeah, ever since he got, like, buff and started just churning out, what is it?
Jack Ryan.
Yeah, Jack Ryan and, like, his, his silent movies or whatever. I can't even remember the fucking name of them. I'm over it. I like his wife better. But BJ Novak seems like a chill guy. Like you said, I feel like he definitely did a lot of the legwork on The Office, which it's not even like a show that I really watch, but still, I'll give it some credit.
Yeah, you guys know I'm a big Office fan, but I'm going to pick BJ Novak. Next one, Dara, you have to pick one. It's Matt Damon or Ben Affleck, both from Cambridge.
You're making fun of the way I say his last name.
I think it's hysterical.
Because I don't respect him enough to say it right. That's what it is.
I know.
Is that I despise that man. So I'll pick Matt Damon because he hasn't wronged me. He's fine. He's not my favorite, but he's not wronged me. Ben Affleck has fucking wronged me. It's a no for me, dog. I just hate him. I just hate his face, and I think he's bad, and I hate every movie he's in.
See, I think I dislike Matt Damon more, and I think that I have been eating up the stupid content of him and J-Lo. I think it's so funny. I think they're blissfully, like, stupid together, and I would love to be that. I'll pick Ben Affleck.
Okay, I'm gonna go with Maddie D. Last one. Gina Davis from Wareham, Elizabeth Banks from Lee, or Jennifer Coolidge from Norwell.
Oh my god! 3? How dare you pit 3 queens against each other?
Fuck.
Holy fuck. This is so hard. The reason I made friends in grad school, because I am bad at making friends, but I did this, like, incredibly low-rate Jennifer Coolidge impression one time, and everyone was like, Dara, this is the funniest thing anyone's ever done. And there's this one girl, she'd be like, do the voice, do it, please. I'm like, you literally can just, anyone who's like, wow, like, it's not good. Like, it's...
You look like the 4th of July. Like,
not... doing a hot dog real bad. Like, it was not a good impression.
You definitely just really... dipped into Owen Wilson.
No, there's this, like, incredible Venn diagram of Owen Wilson, Jennifer Coolidge, and Heath Ledger as the Joker, where the impressions can really get muddy really fast. Like, my father was a drinker and a fiend. Like, which one is that? You don't know. Like, you don't know. But, yeah, I'll pick my girl JC. But damn, tight close race here.
While I love Miss Coolidge, I think I'm gonna have to go for Gina Davis. She's a fucking icon.
Yeah, she is everything.
I will go for Jennifer Coolidge because of Norwell was like 2 towns away from me, and I read that she played the clarinet in the high school band.
Hell yeah.
And she went to like orchestra camp. I was like, yes.
Oh fuck, I love her.
Yeah. With those lips, I would have pegged her as a trombone girly, you know? More for brass. Damn, I didn't know any of those people were from Mass in that last batch that you just said. That's pretty crazy. We've got a lot of good Mass representation.
Very proud of Mass. Very proud of the South Shore.
I know that there's always a BuzzFeed article that like resurfaces every like 6 years that's like the most famous person from every state, and Anna Kendrick always gets Maine because nobody fucking famous is from Maine, but Anna Kendrick is, so it's always like, okay, like nobody from Maine has risen up to take down the Supreme.
Yeah, right.
But I feel like Mass is always like an Affleck or a Marky Mark sort of deal.
Yeah.
Gross.
Not my taste, but Miss Io, she's coming for their throats.
Yeah.
Thank God.
Rising star, we love.
Definitely.
And thank you, Jen, as always, for hosting Chocolate or Vanilla. We love you, and we'll see you next week.
Yeah, I'll see you guys on Sunday for the Oscars.
Yes. All right. Wait, Jen, before you leave,
yes.
What's your best picture? Name it now.
It's gonna be Oppenheimer.
Okay.
Yeah.
You said it here first, so that way, if you're right, you can be like, reference back. I said it.
Yeah. I can. Can I do them all? Cillian Murphy's gonna win. Robert Downey Jr. I'm gonna say Emma Stone, and I am gonna say Divine Joy.
Yeah. Those are all pretty safe. Randolph, Divine Joy Randolph. Yeah, those are all pretty solid and safe picks from you, Jen.
I think Lily's gonna win for actress, and I'm gonna this is probably wishful thinking, but I think Poor Things for picture.
Oh wow. I would
It's
be
definitely
surprised,
wishful
but I would
thinking.
be happy. I really like that one.
I think they are trying to prove for the last couple of years that they don't have the bland taste that they actually do have.
Trying to mix it up a little bit.
But I think that Killian will win for.
But yeah, okay, we'll play these back to either correct or dismiss our opinions in the near future. So, all right, Jen, goodbye.
Goodbye. Love you
Bye,
guys.
Jen.
Have an awesome night.
I love you. Okay, but wait, can we talk about the needle drop of the century?
Okay, which one?
The Avril Lavigne flat in the middle
Yep.
of the movie was everything to me.
Oh, it's brilliant. I loved it. The thing that did it for me, though, was the King Princess in that big montage of them all learning how to fight. I was like, okay, they get it.
I thought you were gonna say Charlie XCX during when they're killing all the football players.
Well, that too.
That also kind of hits.
Well, she's the one that actually coordinated the entire soundtrack.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I love that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, this makes a lot of sense now, because I've seen her and Rachel Sennett, like, hanging out on Instagram. Like, they're pals. And I was always like, what a random friendship. Like, what two it girls, I guess. But, yeah, wow, that all really checks out now, yeah.
Yeah. Have you ever seen, like, those videos of, like, it's, like, Rachel Sennett and Charlie XCX and, like, these famous guys from TikTok or whatever, and everyone's just sitting there, they're like, this is probably the nastiest friend group you could ever be in, and everyone's so coked up.
Yes, I have seen those.
Love it. I would love to party with them.
No, I would crack under the pressure. They wouldn't like me.
Oh, you wouldn't stand a chance. No.
I could hang out with Io, I think. I think Io Debris and I could be friends.
I think so. Yeah.
I'm obsessed. Her most recent, like, thing that's going viral is somebody was like, what would you say to your younger self? And she's like, the laws of time travel, you know, I've never been visited by myself and therefore I need to stay out of it. And I'm just like, girl, I'm obsessed with you.
Mm-hmm. Tenet logic.
She's too real.
Io, if you ever want to be on the pod.
Oh my god, we're some Boston girlies here. When you're home for Thanksgiving, if you wanna link up,
Just come on down to Quincy. It's just a quick ride down from Dorchester. It's nothing crazy. Come on, girly.
Oh, I was thinking to myself, like, is there a new perspective on, like, Superbad, basically? Not to surmise the genre in one film, but basically the horny teen comedy, raunchy teen comedy, it's the end of high school, let's have one big last blowout of sorts. You know, this basically this trope, right? It's Booksmart, it's this, it's Superbad, it's all of those movies. And I'm like, is there anything new to be added to this? And I think the answer is ultimately no, but I do think that the thing that this movie does that does kind of separate it from that genre in a way that I like is that there's, like, this slight absurdism going on that it's just, like, a little bit unreal, right? Like, it is very much a high school teen trying to lose our virginities before we go to college type beat classic comedy. It hits all the beats, but, like, then there's a kid in a cage in the corner.
Yeah.
For what reason?
I love that.
It has those little things that I'm like, oh, like, they're kind of cooking here. Because that's the kind of humor I really want to see more of. Is just, like absurdist, confusing, unexplained, just, like, a little bit odd. That's what I think did it for me to kind of push this movie a little bit over that I felt like was missing in a Booksmart almost. Like, Booksmart tried to do the, like, we did LSD and now we're dolls. And I'm like, this just feels a little ingenuine because it didn't tonally really match the rest of the film. Do you know what I mean? Whereas with this one, I was like, oh, yeah, it would have made sense if they turned into dolls at some point in this one.
Well, I think it was also very much, like, Booksmart was written by a 40-year-old woman.
Yes.
You know, she is long past her high school days. Whereas this is written by, like, end of millennial, like, start of Gen Z kind of, you know what I mean? They still have that weird humor that I think we all have. And you and I are, like, right at the start of Gen Z. basically, right?
We're on the cusp, I believe.
Yeah.
Some would argue that millennial means born before the millennium, so before 2000, which makes you, but then some argue that since we were born so late in the 90s, we don't remember the 90s. Therefore,
Exactly.
we do not qualify. So I do believe, what I subscribe to is that we are old Gen Zers. Like, we're ragged-ass Gen Zers.
Yeah.
Because I just feel like the sort of, like, umbrella terms that are put onto that generation, I just connect with a little bit more. Like, I think I fall into the stereotypes of a Gen Z more than I do of a millennial. But don't get me wrong.
Every now and then I will speak like a millennial.
Oh, and there's no stronger connection I immediately feel than to, like, a 30-year-old woman who was on Tumblr, like, a lot. Right? Like, she was the right age to be on Tumblr when I was on Tumblr.
Yeah, you shouldn't have been on Tumblr.
Oh, like, she's making some bad fashion choices. She's wearing a scarf for no reason. I am obsessed with her. I love, like, a cringe millennial.
Yeah.
Cringe in that way. Not so much the, like, boy mom millennials. Like, that's too
God.
cringe.
Kill yourself.
That's too cringe for me.
No, those millennials who, like, you can see are like, no little girl's gonna, like, come near my little boy. No, sometimes I'll fall down that hole. It's like, okay, people have their, like, zit popping videos and everything like that, and you're one of those guys. My kind of, like, thing like that is watching, like, these TikTok parents. Like, it is horrific. It's insane to watch. And I just keep watching them. Like, it's crazy the way they exploit their kids. And, like, oh my god.
That is so much worse than a dead toenail removal video, Emily.
Horrible.
I have to say.
Horrible. I'm funding it.
Ooh.
But, like, it's so much, like, that's the gross thing that I, like, fall down a hole of.
I'm kind of obsessed right now with all the, like, conspiracy theories around that one influencer mom. Her name is Nara, Nara, but something else. But she's basically the Mormon. The African-American Mormon lady who basically, like, she's like, my kids wanted cereal, so I planted some grain. And everyone's like, what the fuck? Your kids are starving. But the conspiracy theory about, like, her media presence is, like, she claims to be 22, but in articles released several years ago, it says she's 26, like, lying about her age. It's literal, like, Mormon propaganda. Like, the big religions are figuring out how to, like, infiltrate the hive mind of social media now. And they're like, oh, yeah, this is how, like, they're finally catching up. And, like, I'm, like, literally would not be surprised if some of y'all literally start converting, you fucking freaks.
It's horrifying, dude. It's terrifying. There's so many, like, Christian dads on TikTok and who are ginormous.
And not even with just, like, the audience that you would expect, but, like, with, like, young people who are like, like, oh, like, she's so slay. And I'm like, no, she's literally oppressing herself. Like, no.
No, it's crazy. Which it's also, like, I think that, yes, while they've been catching up, I guess, sure, but also, like, these churches and these sort of religious groups have always kind of been savvy to it, and I'm sure we've talked about this before on the pod, but if you haven't seen that documentary, like, Shiny Happy People or whatever, about the Duggars, and about how, like, evangelicals have genuinely been trying to make an army of Catholics to, like, basically take over the world and to infiltrate politics and everything like that. And we are seeing that. I think they called it, like, the Joshua generation. Yeah, it's a whole thing of, like, they were like, okay, yeah, have 19 kids so that you can go and they can become, like, political leaders and, like, big figures in the community. And, yeah. And we're seeing that. I mean, it's the same thing. See it on TikTok. What is it? Girl Defined. All of that shit. It's all interconnected. And it's all... Ugh.
Is it wrong for me to think that your body should max out at, like, 5? maybe
No, that's
6.
not wrong.
Like, I'm like, the female body at a certain point, like, I obviously menopause and all that shit, but I'm like, there's no reason that a woman between the ages of, 15 and 40 should have kids in the teens numbers. No, cap it. After your ovaries, after kid 5 should just explode. Done. We're done with it. Like, that is not... Yeah. There's no need for that many more people.
It's horrifying. No, there's no need. It's control. It's a control thing.
Yeah, that's literally... And they're, like, baking their fucking tater tot casseroles. I definitely watched the videos of, like, the moms with 15 kids who are like, this is how I make taco salad for 37 on a Tuesday. And I'm like, girl, that is a lot of ground beef. Like...
It's crazy.
That's just not sustainable.
Could you imagine what your uterus looks like after that? A plastic bag. Your uterus must look like a plastic bag. No elasticity.
Falling out. She sneezes and it crawls away. Like... Wait, I actually learned something pretty interesting recently about, vaginal pelvic health
Please.
From my mom is a physical therapist, for those who don't know about Jen. She's a PT, and I went out for drinks with some of her coworkers, and one of them...
I love that you go for drinks with your mom's coworkers.
Well, she's actually friends with all, like, the young people, so they're, like, actually, like...
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's my friend.
Yeah, right. So it's more like people my age, and it's like Jen's like our chaperone. I
fucking love that.
It's very cute. But this therapist is like a pelvic floor specialist, and I was like, "Can you tell me the truth? Should I or should I not be doing Kegels?" And she said, "No, absolutely not. You should not be doing Kegels." And I think that there's so much misinformation because I feel like from the time I was, like, young, you learn, like, oh, unless you want your fucking vagina to prolapse, like, you better keep that shit snatched, do your Kegels, literally until I'm fucking 25, and I just learned, no, that is bad for you. Do not do it.
Did you see, and maybe this is misinformation going around, but, like, what your uterus actually looks like inside of your body, where your fallopian tubes are, like, pressed up against, like, your uterus? It's not like they're hanging out in, like, their own... areas. They're not like an archipelago or some shit, you know?
Yeah. Well, because that does make sense, because then
your body is compressed,
Yeah, that would make sense.
There's not a lot of space in there for excess things, you know? Everything's kind of condensed.
Do we want to get into our regularly scheduled programming?
Absolutely.
So, I feel like we can only do Fuck, Marry, Kill with Marshawn Lynch, and then Hazel's MILF mom, and then who? The principal?
No, what's her name? Gay Yoda.
Oh, yeah.
What's her name in that?
I totally forgot about her. She is everything. That scene, I'm like, let's extend this another 10 minutes, because I just want to hear her and Io, like, riffing. They were so good together.
Oh, I loved it. Yeah, I'm marrying her. I'm marrying her. I'm gonna fuck Marshawn Lynch because I don't trust fucking Hazel's mom after she fucked Jeff. I feel like I might get herpes.
She's gonna need to provide a QR code to to the testing website.
Exactly.
It's not that I don't trust her. I don't trust Jeff out here.
I don't trust Jeff. Exactly. My teeny tiny baby girl.
It doesn't count if they're not in high school.
That had me cracking up. I also But I'm gonna fuck Marshawn Lynch and I guess kill Hazel's mom in that case.
I think I'm gonna be Marshawn Lynch's rebound wife. I'm gonna be his, like, much younger second wife. I'm gonna really help him, get his mental health on track. We're gonna get over that ex. Maybe slight porn addiction we've got to deal with. But you know what? Yeah. It's like, I like a fixer-upper. So I'm gonna marry Mr. Marshawn, because he is everything to me in this movie. He had me giggling and kicking my feet every single fucking scene he's in. Yeah. I just cannot believe. And then I'm gonna fuck the lesbian guru, because she's gonna do it right. And then I'll kill Hazel's mom, and then Marshawn and I will adopt Hazel.
Yeah. I like that. That's a good call. Mm-hmm.
And it's like, it's like looking in a mirror, so it's very that relationship that her and I will have. I also love, she's fully sarcasm blind, which I did not pick up my first watch around, but, like, every time somebody, like, says a joke, she's like, you ate literal shit, and I thought that she was being deadpan, but then it gets to the point where you're like, oh no, she just, like, has a touch of the tism. Like, she is just, like, she does not understand. I'm obsessed. I thought that was like a funny little detail I picked up my second watch around. Also obsessed with Ruby Cruz, even though she's a Nepo baby. Her and Kaya Gerber, I'm like, you get a free pass. Yeah, her dad is an actor. He was like back. He was in like TV in like the fucking 70s. Like he's not super famous, but like she's got a foot in the door, you know?
Yeah, I'm just ripping off her style from the movie, so.
Love. And then I asked Henry while we were watching, I'm like, do you know who Cindy Crawford is? He goes, is that her on the screen? And I was like, no. No. But yeah, Kaya Gerber was just a guest judge on RuPaul's Drag Race this past week. And
was it good?
She fucking ate. She like clapped back at one of the judges who like it was a fashion challenge, and she was like, I think I would know. I've walked the Marc Jacobs runway, and actually, like she like fully was like that critique is not valid, and I was like, yes, Kaya. Wield that Nepo baby sword right into Austin Butler's ass. Like I love it. I'm not gonna keep rambling, but Dune 2, that's maybe another reason I didn't really enjoy this watch of Bottoms as much as I could have, because I'm still thinking about Dune 2. I'm trying to buy IMAX tickets for the next 15 showings of Dune 2. I
haven't seen it yet.
I will not rest until I see this movie again and again.
I gotta see it sometime this week.
Oh, it was phenomenal. It exceeded the first one. It's literally occupying my one brain cell is all Dune 2 right now.
Interesting. I just rewatched Interstellar the other night. Like, me and my partner, like, got stoned and sat down and watched it, which I feel like was something I probably would have done in high school. But, like, I forget that space movies can have that grip on me in that way, because I was sitting there thinking about it for the whole next day. This is only the second time I've ever watched it. I think I watched it when I was probably, like, 17. For the first time, I was like, fuck, I forget this is so good.
I remember...
Like, space movies? Oof,
but then, you're hosting your little Bottoms party... we're all gonna get matching booty shorts that say Bottoms across the ass. Yes, for sure.
Yeah, of course.
Which we do sell swamp across the ass booty shorts on our website. I do believe only 2 people to this day have ever bought them, and I'm obsessed. I'm just obsessed with that. Like, I made them as a joke, and I think it's so funny. So wear your word across the butt booty shorts to the Bottoms party. What are you eating and drinking?
So... obviously, pineapple has to come into play somewhere, you know? And I think last week I said, I went for, like a pina colada or something like that. Or, no, that was for our, what's it called? Our Patreon episode, which if you don't know, we have a Patreon. You can subscribe for, what is it, $2.89 or something like that a month?
$2.86. It's the great value brand price of a box of ice cream sandwiches, which is what I have roughly equated to what you will get in return, and honestly, probably a little less. But it's super cheap, and we cover a movie every month, and we'll definitely be doing some Oscar shit in upcoming weeks.
Absolutely.
Ooh, I finished the quest. I'm done with all 10 movies.
I still have to watch Past Lives.
I've locked
in. Zone of Interest. What did you think?
Locked and Loaded. My opinions kind of vary. I think that this year just happened to be incredibly strong. Like, I think some of these movies, if they had been a year or 2 ago, I would have actually, like, liked them a lot more. But just, like, being next to fucking Killers of the Flower Moon and Oppenheimer and Poor Things is just, like, holy fuck. Like, it's just, it's a really strong year. Yeah. But I like how many, like, more international and diverse films they included in the actual, like, Best Picture race this year, because I think a lot of them are ones that I probably wouldn't have seen otherwise, and I'm, like, glad that I did. Like, I wouldn't watch a French courtroom procedural that's 3 hours. Like, that's just, you know, not my jam, but I'm like, oh, I am glad that I watched that, you know?
Yeah. I do have to, those are the last 2 that I have to watch, is Zone of Interest and Past Lives, I think. I think I've seen all the rest of them. It's hard to, like, since what, has it always been 10? Does the number change?
the number has gone up, I would say, in the past decade or so. It used to, if you look
I swear it used to be 5.
Yeah, if you look at old ones, it's, like, literally 5 movies.
I'm thinking back to, like, 2004 when Chicago was, like, nominated or some shit.
Yeah.
And there's, like, literally like, nothing else.
Yeah, they're like, we actually only nominated the one, because...
what else are you gonna do?
Yeah.
Did you see it? Did we watch the same movie?
Did you have Catherine Zeta-Jones tap dancing in your movie? No, the fuck you didn't. So the award show was actually just like the cast of Chicago in a room, and they're like, "Well, you guys did it."
Woo! But yeah, back to my my girlies and my gays. We're all sitting down. We're watching this movie. Pineapple is obviously a big thing in this, and normally I would go the pineapple drink route, but I'm not doing that today. I'm gonna say you make a nice pineapple salsa and do some chicken tacos with it.
Ooh, okay.
Right? Nothing too crazy. And then I mean, if you're going to do tacos in any sort of form or a salsa, you have to do something with tequila. Mm-hmm. I love a tequila sour, but I think you do it really fun. I think you do a blood orange tequila sour.
Ooh, because...
Just spice it up a little bit.
Because there's blood in this movie. Because
exactly.
They're fighting.
Yeah. I do love the final fight sequence. We didn't really talk about that.
Yeah, they're like, we're actually literally just gonna kill these men. I'm like, love that for you.
Yeah, don't need to expand on it. Io carrying Jeff is the funniest fucking thing to me. God.
Yeah, Hazel, let's do terrorism. Love. The bomb on the tree, that's my Oppenheimer.
But what about you? What are you serving at your gay party?
So I was like kind of obsessed with the scene between Io and like the gay Yoda, and they're like drinking chocolate milk out of a carton and eating like what appears to just be toast, like chocolate milk and toast. I'm like, that's such a slay. So we're gonna move on from that, but I love that. So I thought chocolate milk, it's like you could do like a mudslide or like a mocha espresso martini of sorts. I think you go the chocolate route with the drink. And then I don't really want to just eat toast. So I think this movie is about women supporting and uplifting other women. And you know who I want to support? Who? I want to support the troops. I want to support our girls in brown. Literally, if you asked me how many times I've bought Girl Scout cookies in the past month, I would have to... Like, my bank is calling me, being like, is this a fraudulent purchase? Because there's no need.
You're like, no, I wish.
They ask me, they say, would you like, and I'm like, yes, I would like to buy some. Like, yeah,
how could I not?
You caught me, and I've been using cash, so it feels free.
Yeah, it's not real.
They're $6 a box, and I'm like, oh, you should just, plowing through them. And even I'm a Samoa's girly, like hardcore. Yeah. That is my one. But I've been venturing out because, I'm like, oh, well, I actually already have an unopened box of Samoas at home already. So, like, I've been, like, trying the newer ones that they have. Okay. They've got
Thoughts?
They're experimenting. Oh, all bangers. Girl Scouts is not, there's not a bad cookie. Not a bad cookie amongst them. So all just chef's kiss. So I think, you support your local girlies and you get some Girl Scout cookies and you just... queen out.
Brilliant. Couldn't have said it better myself.
And then what movie will you follow this up with?
I'm gonna follow this up with a movie that I think outdoes this one a little bit. Saw it recently. It had me like genuinely kicking my feet and scream laughing in the theater, and it was Drive Away Dolls.
Oh, yes, you texted me. You told me to go see it.
Yes. If anyone that hasn't seen it, any lesbian, mark your calendars, put it on your list. I am not a big Coen Brothers person, typically, and this isn't Coen Brothers, this is Ethan Coen specifically. He got me. He finally nailed me down. I had a romp with this movie. It was so fucking funny. It was so fucking stupid. But I feel like it was just... the jokes were more, they just hit a little harder, in my opinion. It's still very absurd, but I think it is a little bit more thought out. which is to be expected. This is a man who's been making movies for the last, 30 plus 40 years, something like that. That makes sense. Yes. But, the fact that he did a good lesbian movie, which he did this with someone else. There's another writer.
Who's a woman.
Involved,
I don't know
who
if
is
she's
a woman,
queer, but
yes.
yeah.
A man couldn't do this solely on his own. But I thought it was fucking hysterical. Margaret Qualley really, does the dumbest
her accent.
It's so stupid. I love it.
That's the thing that in the trailers I was like, is she being fucking for real right now? Mm-hmm. Is this a joke?
Beanie Feldstein is there, and she is such a fucking scene stealer, dude. It's hysterical.
Obsessed. So, I'll have to go see it with such high praise. And I do love a Coen Brothers moment.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I thought it was so funny.
I similarly am going to pick something that I do think is of the same vein, but does just tickle my funny bone a little bit harder. And I know I've said this as my follow-up for a different thing in the past, absolutely, but we're sticking within the NYU graduating class of 2019 cinematic universe.
Is it theater camp?
And it's theater camp. It has
that was my backup. I'm so glad you said it.
Io Debris plays an unqualified stunt woman teacher. It's so fucking funny. And then you've obviously got Molly Gordon and Ben Platt surprisingly being so self-aware about his theater kid energy that it is actually hilarious. Yeah, that whole movie I went in fully thinking it would be so cringe, and I left mascara streaming down my face because of how hard I scream laughed in the theaters. I believe you can stream it on Hulu right now. It's so funny.
The child actors in that too are so good.
They fucking eat. They got the kid from Minari to play an aspiring businessman. So oh my god, it's everything to me. My backup was the new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie, which Io Debris voices. She's the voice of the reporter girl character who's throughout all of the teenage. I'm a Ninja Turtles fan. Even I saw the shitty Michael Bay ones back in the 2010s because I was I'm here for the turtles. But yeah, this new one, it was very Into the Spider-Verse animation style. I think they might have used that same whatever technique. So it almost looks like a live comic book rather than just your sort of oversaturated 3D motion graphic kids movie. So I did enjoy the new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. They also got actual young teen boys to be the Ninja Turtles, and they let them improv and stuff. So they actually they say a lot of shit that you're these boys are making Fortnite references. This was not in the script, and it's just I don't know. It was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it a lot. So that was another good Io. She's booked and busy, man.
Oh, as she should be. And what would you rate this? I'm gonna give it a 7.
Yeah, I was gonna say 6.5.
It still tickles me.
It's funny, it's good. I don't see myself having this one be one that I throw in a lot. I need a good laugh, right? There are just other movies of the same vibe that just do it for me a little bit more. But I like what's happening. There's a lot of good elements here, and I'm really excited to see what all of these people do next.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And thank you to Zoe is Fine for suggesting that we cover this. It was a lot of fun. And thank you to everyone else. Keep sending in your movie requests. You can do it if you're listening on Spotify. There's a Q&A little button that if you hit it, you can just type us whatever. But you can also DM us on Instagram. We have Twitter. All the links to all of our shit is in the bio. Oh my god, I clapped back at someone today on Instagram to the point where they formally apologized for making a rude comment.
Was this the one that you sent me?
Yes, I sent up a screenshot. I'm is this too much? Am I doing too? Because I was in a bad mood, and somebody commented something not nasty, but just fucking dumb. And so I was I'm just gonna say, and they were I'm so sorry. That was not okay for me to say. I was not, and I was yeah, fucking apologize to me. I'm obsessed.
That's brilliant.
And definitely continue to send us in your thoughts about the Oscars, any questions about the Oscars, or any, like, I don't know, things that you would like us to touch on in our episode, whether it be released here. I think we'll definitely do something on the main feed for sure, but probably something also on the Patreon, so definitely just let us know. I love talking awards season. Like, I fucking hate it. I hate this shit, and I love to talk shit about it.
We can't stop. Like, the amount we've brought it up in the last 2 months is almost insufferable.
I'm explosive.
So thank you guys. I was gonna say, thank you all for bearing with us as we get through this together.
No, like, let it be known that I don't like this shit. Like, this is not good, but I still will talk about it. Like, I love to hate it. And as always, we love you. Thank you for listening.
Mwah.
Goodbye and good night.